Hello everyone, today we are starting a new chapter which is limits and derivatives, chapter number 13. And in order to understand the concept of limits, what do you mean by limit? We will start with an example. Okay, so let's take an example as the function f of x to be x square minus 4 divided by x minus 2, where I am saying that x is not equal to 2. Now what will happen when x is equal to 2? So let's see, when x is equal to 2, the function becomes f of 2, which will be 2 square minus 4, that is you are replacing x with 2, divided by 2 minus 2, right? Which is equal to 4 minus 4 divided by 2 minus 2, that is 0 by 0. Now when you get a form like 0 by 0, it is actually known as, it is defined to be an indeterminate form. Indeterminate form. Now why we are saying that this is an indeterminate form? Okay, for that let's see a number, that is, suppose you are taking 2 by 2. I'm just making you understand what is an indeterminate form. Now if you are taking 2 by 2, you will write it is nothing but 1, right? Now if suppose I am taking the numerator to be 0, that is 0 by 2, what will you write the answer to be? Since in the numerator you have 0, you know that anything be in the denominator, you will get it to be 0 only, right? Now if I am writing the numerator as any number and the denominator is 0, that is numerator is 2 and denominator is 0, we know that if the denominator is 0, we will say that it is not defined or it is infinity. So actually these concepts are clear, that is, if you have the two numbers in the numerator and denominator equal, then the value will be 1. If the numerator is having 0, whatever be in the denominator you will get 0, and if the denominator is 0, whatever be in the numerator you will get infinity. Now what about 0 by 0? If I am seeing this 0 by 0 as in this form, that is the numerator and denominator are in the same form, that is 0 and 0. So if it's possible that we can cut and write it as 1, because 0 and 0 both are equal, then it is 1. Now if I am thinking that it is like the numerator is 0, if it is like numerator is 0, what I will write? We need not see the denominator. If the numerator is 0, I will get the answer to be 0. Now again, if I am considering the denominator is 0, then anything by the denominator, if it is 0, you will get it to be infinity. That means for the 0 by 0, you are getting 3 answers, right? 3 answers means we are not able to say which one is the correct one. That means we are not able to determine the answer. That's why this form is known as indeterminate form. There are many other forms also which have been under the category of indeterminate form, but here you will be limited to the case of 0 by 0 form, which is known as indeterminate form. Now we are just taking certain values of x which are very near to 2. Okay, very near to 2 means it can be less than 2 as well as greater than 2, but they are very close to 2. Okay, and we will see what will happen to the function value when x is near to 2 from the lesser part of 2 and from the greater part of 2. That means when I am taking the value of x and, okay, I am just making a box so that I can just show you all the values which we are taking. So suppose x, I am taking 3 values which are near to 2 but less than 2. Okay, very near to 2. So suppose 1.98, 1.99, 1.999. So they are just going closer and closer to 2, right? Now I am taking 3 values which are greater than 2 but very again close to 2. So let us take 2.001, 2.01, 2.02. Okay, so these are values which are very near to 2 but they are the greater than 2. Okay, now what will happen to the function? Now it is very difficult to replace the value of x here in this function and see what all values you will get here for f of x. So what we are doing is we are just rewriting or arranging this function f of x as, it is actually x square minus 4 by x minus 2, which can be written as This is a square minus b square form, x square minus 2 square divided by x minus 2. That means I can write it as x plus 2 into x minus 2 divided by x minus 2. That means these two get cancelled and I am getting x plus 2. So now the f of x, the same f of x is x plus 2. And this I have done in order to just write the values easily. Okay, so x plus 2 means I have to just add it to these values, so that I will get f of x as this plus 2 will give you 3.98, again this plus 2 will give you 3.99, then 3.999, here again plus 2 will give you 4.001, 4.01, 4.02. Okay, so what you can say, the value of x from the left hand side, when you see from the left hand side of what? 2. So suppose this is 2, from the left portion I have taken certain values which are very close to 2, and from the right also I have taken certain values which are very again close to 2. But these values, these three values were to the left side of 2, and these three values are to the right of 2. Now what happens to the function value when we have taken like this? 3.98, 3.99, 3.999 means that value is actually approaching to 4. Approaching to 4. And here again you can see 4.001, as x approaches, or as you take the value approaching to 2 for x, the function value is approaching to 4, right? Now if I am just replacing here in this function as 2 for x, I will just get f of 2 is equal to 2 plus 2, which is 4. Now what is the meaning of all these things? If this is so easy, why we are doing all these things, right? So this is a tiring process also. The concept of limit you can understand only through this method. This will give only the function value at that point. But what we are here is to do the limit process, that is what is the meaning of limit, that should be clear. Now what we are getting from this concept is the limiting value of the function becomes 4 as the limit of x, or as x approaches to 2. Okay, that is when x approaches to 2 from the, so this is the symbol for approaches to 2, or you can say tends to or approaches to. X approaches to 2 or x tends to 2. This symbol is read as x tends to 2 or x approaches to 2. Now as x approaches to 2 from the left side of 2, from the left side of 2 and very close to 2, very close to 2, the function value approaches to 4, right? What we can say, the function value, that is f of x, is approaching or tending to 4. Again, if you are taking x approaches to 2 from the right side, from the right side of 2 and very close to 2, then you can say the function value again is approaching to 4. So this concept gives that the limiting value of the function is 4. It cannot go beyond 4. That's how comes the word limits. Okay. So the value of the function, that is f, value of the function f of x to which it approaches, that is the value of function to which it approaches means where it is reaching. Okay. To which it approaches, when x approaches from the left, when x approaches from the left, that is x from the left means you will say that that value of the function is called the left hand limit. Left hand limit. So what do you mean by left hand limit? It is the value of the function to which it approaches when x approaches from the left side. X approaches from the left side, that means the function value is approaching to 4. So that is the left hand limit. Now again, what will be the right hand limit? In the same manner, you can say that the right hand limit will be value of the function to which it approaches when x approaches from the right side. Okay, from the right. When the value of x we are taking from the right side and then finding out the function's limit till where it can go, that will give you the right hand limit, and the left hand limit is when the function value which you are getting is when the value of x is approaching from the left side. Okay, now how will you denote this left hand limit and right hand limit? Normally we can say LHL and RHL in short form. Okay, but definition basis in mathematical way, how will we represent? So left hand limit, which is LHL, is notated as, we will write LIM or LT. In some you can see LIM, in some you can see LT also. So generally we will use LIM as limit. Okay, so it is a left side's limit. So what we can see is, in the example we have just done for x equal to 2, that is limit for x equal to 2 or x tends to 2. Okay, so if it is from the left hand side, how will we represent is limit x tends to 2 minus. 2 minus means it is approaching to 2 from the left side of 2. Okay, 2 minus means it is from the left side, f of x. So how we will read this? Limit x tends to 2 minus f of x, and the meaning of this is the limit value of the function as x approaches 2 from the left side. Okay, and how will we represent the right hand limit? It will be again limit x tends to 2 plus. 2 plus means it is from the right side of 2, that is bigger than 2 but very close to 2. That value have been chosen by x and you are getting the function value at that time, that is known as right hand limit. Okay, so here in this case, in this problem, you can say that the left hand limit, that is limit x tends to 2 minus f of x, is 4, right? It is approaching to 4, and the right hand limit is also approaching to 4. That means the left hand limit is equal to right hand limit. And when you have left hand limit is equal to right hand limit, you will say that the limit of the function exists. This implies that the limit of the function exists. Okay, and it is represented as limit LIM x tends to, here it is 2 we have taken, so I am writing 2, f of x. So here I am not writing negative or positive because that is used for left hand and right hand limit. Here when I say that the limit exists, then I can write limit x tends to 2 alone. That means as x approaches to 2, the function approaches to the value 4. So that is limit x tends to 2 f of x equal to 4. So you can say that the limit exists, means limit x tends to 2 f of x exists and it is equal to 4. Okay, and that value will be equal to 4. Clear? So when we say that a function has a limit or the limit exists, when the left hand limit is equal to right hand limit. So generalizing the above problem or generalizing the definition of limit, you can say that in general, if we say as x tends to a, the function f of x tends to L. That is, instead of 2 in the other problem, we have a here, and instead of 4 we have L here. So as x tends to a, f of x tends to L means that means its mathematical interpretation or representation will be like limit x tends to a, f of x is equal to L. So this is the interpretation of what we have written in the above, that is, as x tends to a, f of x tends to L means limit x tends to a, f of x is equal to L, and this is the definition of limit. Okay, this is called the definition of the limit of a function. Clear? Now here in the same problem you will be thinking why we need to find out the left hand limit and right hand limit and then find the limit or whether it exists or not. Was it not enough if we write like this was same as f of x, so that what will happen when x is tending to 2, it will be giving you 2 plus 2, which is 4. That is also enough, you will be thinking. But this doubt which you have in your mind will be clear from the next problem, in which we will just see what happens to the left and right limit and what happens to the direct thing. Okay. Now let's consider this one, that is f of x is equal to 1. It has two values, 1 when x is less than or equal to 0 and 2 when x is greater than 0. What will happen to the graph of this function? How will you draw? This is x dash, y dash. Okay. Now when x is less than or equal to 0 means it is to the left side of this axis. So here you will have the value of the function to be 1, that is it will be a straight line like this. But when you go for the positive value of x, that is x greater than 0, the function's value is 2, right? Function's value is 2 for all the values, but here it is for greater, not at the point. So here I will just draw a hollow circle and then it will be like this, and here I will darken because equal to is also included in this function. So when x is 0, at that time also the function's value is 1. So this will be the graph. Okay. Now what we are doing is we will just find out what is the left hand limit and right hand limit. Okay. Left hand limit I can write LHL. Now what is the notation? I am checking at the point 0. Okay, that means our purpose is to find out what is limit x tends to 0 f of x. Okay, for that we will first find out what is LHL or left hand limit. So to the left of 0 you can see what is the notation or how we will represent it. Limit x tends to 0 minus. If it is left hand side, 0 minus means x is approaching from the left side of 0. That means this part. Okay, left side of 0 means not very big part. We are just taking a neighborhood of 0 so that the value which we are dealing, that is for left hand limit, it is very close to 0. 0 minus means it is not like minus 1, minus 2 or okay, it is very near to 0 but negative. So this is the notation, limit x tends to 0 minus f of x. And what is that? You just see, whenever x is less than 0, you will have the function value to be 1. So here you will get the function value to be 1. Okay, I will write here. Okay, this is equal to 1 giving. Now when I move on to the right hand limit, I will represent it as limit x tends to 0 plus. Right hand limit means it is from the right side of 0. F of x, the function value is, just see, when it is greater than 0, the function value is given to be 2. So here you can see that the left hand limit is not equal to right hand limit. And when you have left hand limit not equal to right hand limit, you will say that the limit of the function does not exist. Limit of the function, or you can say limit x tends to 0 f of x does not exist. Limit x tends to 0 f of x does not exist. Even if you can see that f of 0 is defined here. F of 0 means what? When x is 0, what is the function value? It is 1 only, right? So f of 0 is defined. Then also, since the left hand limit is not equal to right hand limit, we can say that the limit of the function does not exist. So now you can see the importance of the finding out the left hand limit and right hand limit separately instead of just replacing the value directly and finding out. The concept of limit is very important to understand because this has further application in your related topics in 12th standard also, that is continuity and differentiability. So in order to understand that better, you have to be clear in limits and derivatives also. Now talking about limits, I cannot avoid what is continuity. That is, if I have a graph like this, I will say that this graph is continuous because I can just draw this without lifting up my pen. Okay, but in the other example which we considered right now, it was like this here at 2 and 1 like this, right? So when I am just drawing it, I can just feel here it is continuous, right? I am getting a straight line. Now after this I have to take a jump and then move on like this. That means it was not continuous at this point 0. So that continuity is very closely related to limits. That means left limit equal to left hand limit equal to right hand limit equal to when you have at that point, when all these three are equal, you will say that the function is continuous. So continuity and limit are very closely related. So that continuous will give you an idea that this limit is not equal to this limit. That's why that continuity is not happening. Here if you check for any point, you will get for both the left and right, you will get the same value for the function also. That means that will be continuous at that point. Understood? Now in this another example, I will just tell you another method to find out the limit which is based on h. Now what is h? If I have to find out, the question is limit x tends to 1 f of x. We have to find out the limit for the function when x approaches to 1. Okay, so normally what we will do, we will just say LHL, we will find out LHL which is limit x tends to 1 minus f of x, right? That will be the definition for left hand limit, right? Now the concept of h is like, if this is 1, I am just taking an h which is very close to 0, but it is greater than 0. Okay, it is a positive value which is very close to 0, very near to 0. So that when I subtract that h, quantity h from 1, it will be a value which is less than 1. 1 minus means it is less than 1. And if I am adding h to that 1, I am getting a value which is greater than 1. That means this 1 minus h will be somewhat here nearby 1 to the left of 1, and 1 plus h will be nearby to 1, but it will be to the right of 1. Okay, it is very small neighborhood, that is they are very close points to 1. So we are, instead of writing like this, we can just rewrite this in terms of h. Now how we are representing, I'll show. So I am just taking a small value h which is very near to 0 also, and it is positive, that is it is greater than 0. Okay, then only the meaning of 1 minus h will become a lesser value than 1, and 1 plus h will become a greater value than 1. Okay, now I have to find out the left hand limit for this function, and I am just making use of this h. How? Just see. Every time this h will be approaching to 0, h is a very small quantity which is approaching to 0. So I am just changing this limit as, that is x tends to 1 minus is same as if I say h tends to 0. That is x tends to 1 minus is same as h tends to 0, when the function f of x will be replaced with 1 minus h. You just see, when h approaches to 0, you will get f of 1 only. So the function f of 1 is actually replaced with f of 1 minus h, or x is replaced with 1 minus h. So I am just writing this as h tends to 0. Here I will not mention it as plus or minus because h is already a positive quantity, and we are just writing the function as function will be changed, and that will make you know whether it is a left hand limit or right hand limit, not this, because in this type 1 minus is showing you whether it is left hand limit. If you are writing 1 plus, you will say that it is right hand limit. But when you are changing this in terms of h, this will tell you whether it is a left hand limit or a right hand limit, because for left hand limit as a quantity which is greater than 0, it is reduced from 1 in order to get the left side. Okay, so it is 1 minus h, whatever the limit here x was approaching to, that value minus h. Okay, this will be the left hand notation. Now talking about the right hand limit, it is limit x tends to 1 plus f of x, and its notation when changed to h will give you limit h tends to 0. So in both the cases you are writing only h tends to 0 only, but where the change occurs is in the x part, that is f of x will be replaced with 1 f of 1 plus h. There it was 1 minus h, here it is 1 plus h. That means it is a quantity which is greater than 1, here it is a quantity which is less than 1. Okay, now what is the meaning of f of 1 plus h and f of 1 minus h, that we are replacing and finding out. So for the left hand limit, I am just replacing this f of 1 minus h. F of x is x square plus x. So what will be f of 1 minus h? You have to replace x with 1 minus h. So I will get limit h tends to 0. This will become, instead of x, I will write 1 minus h the whole square plus again instead of x 1 minus h, right? So this is your function value now. Now we have to just do one thing, that is you are replacing your h with 0. Either you can expand and then replace with that is replace h with 0, or else here itself you can just do. And when we are replacing the value, that means h tending to 0, that 0 will be given to wherever you have h. When we are replacing the value, we will not write limit h tends to 0 there. So in that step we will just write only this one, 1 minus 0 square plus 1 minus 0, that is we have replaced h with 0. So what we are getting? You are getting 1 plus 1, which is 2. So the left hand limit is 2. Now for going for the right hand limit, in this one what you will do, limit h tends to 0, replace the function value or x value with 1 plus h. Instead of x you will write 1 plus h, so it will become 1 plus h the whole square instead of x square, plus again for x you will write 1 plus h. Now again you will replace h with 0, so what you will get, 1 plus 0 the whole square plus 1 plus 0, which is again 1 plus 1, 2. That means here you are getting left hand limit is equal to right hand limit. So you can say that the limit exists. Okay, here LHL is equal to RHL. Therefore limit x tends to 1 f of x exists. And what will be the value? The value will be nothing but whatever you are getting as the common value for both, which is 2, right? So that will be the limit value also, and limit x tends to 1 f of x will be 2. That is, when x approaches 1, the function value approaches to 2. So next we have taken the function as sin x, f of x equal to sin x, and you have to find out limit x tends to pi by 2 sin x. So for that what we will do, we will just do in your h terms. Okay, so first LHL, which is written as limit x tends to pi by 2 minus, right, f of x. Now what is f of x? We will just replace limit x tends to pi by 2 minus sin x. So this is the function. Now we are just changing this in terms of h. For that what we will write is limit h tends to 0 sine of, you are just replacing x with pi by 2 minus h. Because it is left hand side, you have to, left hand limit, you have to just replace this with, this is sin x, no? So instead of x we are replacing it with whatever to which x is approaching, that value minus h, minus the small quantity. That means it will give you the left side of pi by 2. Okay. Now what is sine of 90 minus theta? It is cos theta, so you will get limit h tends to 0 cos h. Now we will just replace this h with 0, so that you will not write limit, you will just write cos 0, and cos 0 is 1. Okay. So that is your LHL. Now we will find out what is RHL, which is limit x tends to pi by 2 plus f of x, which is equal to limit x tends to pi by 2 plus sin x. Now you just replace with h, that is, as x step approaches to pi by 2 plus h approaches to 0, and the value of x will be replaced with pi by 2 plus h. So here it was pi by 2 minus h, here it is pi by 2 plus h. Now again just replace sine of 90 plus theta is again in the second quadrant, so it will be positive and it will give you the opposite thing, that is limit h tends to 0, you will get cos h. Replacing h with 0, you will get cos 0, which is again 1. So here again you are getting left hand limit is equal to right hand limit. Therefore limit x tends to pi by 2 sin x exists and is equal to, what is the value which you are getting? Both are having the same value 1, so the limit value is also 1. Okay. Considering another function f of x equal to x plus cos x, and we are here to find out limit x tends to 0 f of x. Okay, so let's start with left hand limit, which is limit x tends to 0 minus, here you have 0, so it is 0 minus f of x. Replacing f of x with x plus cos x, you will get limit x tends to 0 minus x plus cos x. Now using the concept of h, what we can write? Limit h tends to 0, and you will replace x with 0 minus h. So it will become 0 minus h plus cos of 0 minus h. So wherever you have x, you are replacing it with 0 minus h. You can just understand the concept like this. If you have x is equal to 0 plus h, when h tends to 0, x will tend to 0. That is x tends to 0 form. Okay. Now if suppose you were having the limit to be limit x tends to 1. So you will write x is 1 plus h. The meaning of x is 1 plus h is when h tends to 0, that is same as x is tending to 1. So that is the concept used here. Okay. So this will now give you what? Limit h tends to 0. This will give you minus h. Here cos of minus h you are getting. Now cos of minus theta is what? Cos of minus theta is cos theta. So that here you will get cos h for this one, right? So limit h tends to 0 minus h plus cos h. Now we will replace h with 0, so that this term will go and this will become cos 0, and cos 0 is 1. So the left hand limit is 1. Now going for the right hand limit, limit x tends to 0 plus f of x will be same as limit x tends to 0 plus function is x plus cos x. Now replacing this with h, you will get limit h tends to 0. Instead of x you will use 0 plus h plus cos of 0 plus h. Now this will become limit h tends to 0 h plus cos h. Replacing with 0, you will get 0 plus cos 0, which is equal to 1. So the left hand limit is same as right hand limit. Therefore you can say that the limit x tends to, what you need to find out? Limit x tends to 0, f of x exists and the value is equal to, that is limit x tends to 0, f of x is equal to 1. Okay. Considering another example, f of x is equal to x minus 2. It has three values: x minus 2 when it is less than 0, that is x is less than 0, and 0 when x is 0, and x plus 2 when x is greater than 0. And we have to find out the limit x tends to 0 f of x. That means as x approaches to 0, what happens to the function value, to which point it approaches. Okay, so first we will start with LHL, which is limit x tends to 0. The approaching point is given to be 0, so it is 0 minus f of x. Limit, first I am just replacing f of x with a function. For the function we have to go there, you have to choose the function. That means x tends to 0 minus, the meaning is x is a value which is less than 0. Less than 0 means here. That means the function which you have to use here is x minus 2. So replace the function f of x with x minus 2. Now moving on to the limit h tends to 0 definition, what you will get? Limit h tends to 0. Instead of x, you will replace it with this one, 0 minus h, then minus 2, right? Now this is what you will get is minus h minus 2, and replace h with 0 here itself. So you will get minus 2 as the limit value, that is left hand limit value. Now for right hand limit, limit x tends to 0 plus f of x will give you limit x tends to 0 plus, which function value you have to use? 0 plus means it is a value which is greater than 0. So x is greater than 0 will give you the function value as x plus 2. So replace the function value with x plus 2. Now moving to the definition of h, that is limit h tends to 0, you will get here as 0 plus h, this 0 plus h plus 2, that is h plus 2, and replacing h with 0 you will get it to be 2. So here you can see left hand limit you got minus 2 and right hand limit is giving you 2. That means here the left hand limit is not equal to right hand limit. Therefore, what is your conclusion? The limit of the function does not exist at x equal to 0. Okay, that is limit x tends to 0 f of x does not exist. Even if you can just see that the function is defined at x equal to 0, when at the point x equal to 0 you have the function value to be 0, but the limit does not exist. Okay, even if you have the function to be defined at 0, which is f of 0 equal to 0, the limit does not exist. So now I think you have understood the importance of left hand limit and right hand limit, because even if it is at the point defined, it is not necessary that the limit exists. Okay, so left and right limit are to be considered here. Now one more thing which I will tell you is you can just avoid this method also, that is if you are directly replacing after this step, you are replacing with 0 the value of x, you will directly get 0 minus 2, which is minus 2 also. Here again after this step, if you are replacing x with whatever value is given 0, so it is 0 plus 2, which is 2. So the value which you are getting is same. Okay, so I think this is clear. Whenever you have only one function, that is f of x equal to a quantity of x, at that time the left and right will almost give you the same value. But when you have a function having different values at the left and right side of a point, at that time the value, that is the left limit and right limit, can vary the value. Else it will in certain cases it will vary, in certain cases you will get the same answer, but most probably when the function is varying in the left and right side, at that time this occurs, this happens. Okay.